Hi everyone and welcome to Mexico. This is the first time I've ever driven in Mexico. I've been to Mexico several times. I've spent a fair amount of time in Mexico, but I've never driven here before. The original plan for this trip was to drive the full length of the Baja Peninsula, but then I thought, you know what? Let me just slow it down here. Let's just do like a 2-day trip, see what it's like, see how driving there goes, see if I'm comfortable driving here and everything. And then maybe next year I can delve a little bit deeper, go further south into the peninsula. But this is a pretty interesting spot here. Let me show it to you. Believe it or not, this is the Colorado River. And it's just kind of a stagnant swamp here. The river, of course, starts in Colorado, goes through Utah, and then into Arizona and the Grand Canyon, and then goes along the Arizona-California border before coming into Mexico. And it flows for, I don't know, like 50 or 100 miles within Mexico before it empties into the Gulf of California. Here's the full length of the Baja Peninsula just below California. You can see on this little inset map here. That's the Baja Peninsula. So I crossed the border about an hour ago at Mexicali. And the plan for this trip is to go from here to San Felipe, and then across the peninsula to Ensenada, and then back up into California. And that's really just a tiny portion of the entire length of the peninsula. But again, I just want to get used to the area first before I go further south. And so right now I'm about, let's see, I'm like right here at this bend in the Colorado River. So pretty soon it enters the sea here. And I think that in some years, due to irrigation draw on both the American and Mexican side of the border, the river doesn't even make it all the way to the sea. The flow stops short. Kind of sad. And by the way, this video is going to be kind of less informative and more of a travel log, just documenting my trip here. After this video, so this video is going up on a Saturday, on the following Tuesday, I'm going to post a video that has all the logistics of the trip. So I'm going to talk about the border crossing and money stuff and the documents that I needed and, you know, how driving here went and, you know, all that kind of thing. I'm going to cover all of that in the next video. So if you want like hardcore information about this trip, logistics about this trip, watch that next video. Here, I'm just going to take it easy. We're just going to travel, enjoy the sights, enjoy the scenery, have a good time visiting a favorite country of mine. Welcome to some salt flats out here in the Mexican desert. This is a dried up lake bed, very flat, kind of reminiscent of the Bonneville salt flats in Utah, if you're familiar with those. Whole lot of nothing, whole lot of flatness. So the dry lake bed out here is just full of these salt crystals. It's a little bit damp. I wouldn't want to drive out here, but just walking on it is fine. The salt is very kind of crispy, crunchy underfoot. I love places like this, just vast, open stretches of desolation, of nothing. It's great. This place is called El Salar, by the way. And next up, I think I'm going just right into San Felipe after this. I still have another, I don't know, hour. In fact, let me check my phone. Let's see exactly how far away I am. Yeah, 56 minutes, 87 kilometers to San Felipe. And yeah, let's go. This is fun. Fun seeing brand new areas. You know, I've traveled extensively throughout the western US, and so I mean, this isn't this isn't that different, to be honest, as far as like the landscape goes, the topography, the geology, but just the fact that it is different politically, the fact that I've never been here before, that's really fun for me. That's really exciting for me. Alright everyone, I'm at my destination for the day, more or less the external areas where I'm going to be spending the rest of the day. This is a town called San Felipe. It's a tourist town, a coastal town on the water here. It's great to be at the beach. It's a little bit chilly, it's a little bit windy, not ideal conditions for enjoying being at the beach, but it's still really pretty. This is only about a 2-hour, 15-minute drive from the border. If you were to go straight, I made a couple of stops and there was a military checkpoint I had to stop at briefly, and that was just a routine stop. They stop everyone. But yeah, pretty easy drive, good road, nice road coming here, and it feels great to be back in Mexico. I actually spent 7 months in Mexico in like 2012, 2013 time frame. It's a country that I really love. The people are super nice. The food, of course, is great. I don't really speak Spanish. I have what I would call an advanced beginner's knowledge of Spanish. I cannot speak or understand very well, but I'm still studying it, and I do enjoy it. And yeah, let me show you what we have going on here. So apparently you can drive out onto the beach here. There are a couple of trucks launching boats or picking up their boats or something. Nice wide beach area, pretty beach. Then this is called the Malecon. This is kind of the waterfront embankment walking area. A lot of Mexican coastal towns have something like this, just a walking area along the water. And then you can see the RAV4 parked right there. And so on the other side of the street, just lots of shops. We've got basically tourist shops, gift shops, and then restaurants with the odd other kind of establishment thrown in. Like there's a 7-Eleven on the corner right here. Let's go walk down this way a little bit more. This is interesting. Got a big old fish statue thing, and I don't know if you're supposed to put trash in it. Is that what this thing is supposed to be for? I'm not sure, but people have certainly tossed their garbage in there. And then this is something else you'll also find in a lot of Mexican cities, just the big letters with the name of the town. And they're a little bit taller than I am. Usually they're multicolored. These ones are all pink. I think I saw, yeah, there's some of the breast cancer ribbons painted on here. Very nice. And this is my first time here on the Gulf of California. I've never been to this body of water before. It's also called the Sea of Cortez. You'll see it written both ways. And yeah, I've never seen it, never been here. Let's go out and get closer to the water here. It looks like the tide comes up to, you know, right here. Now let's see if I can touch the water without getting too wet here. There we go. It's actually warmer than I thought it would be. I don't know why I was expecting colder water, but kind of pleasant. And here's looking back at the town. This mountain kind of overlooks the town of San Felipe. I think next up I'm headed for this lighthouse right here. It might take me 15 or 20 minutes to walk out that way. Yeah, there are not a lot of people around, and a lot of the shops and restaurants are not open. I wouldn't say it feels like a ghost town, but it's kind of in that direction. It feels a little bit abandoned right now. Okay, upon further inspection, the walk to the lighthouse was a little bit longer than I thought it would be, so I drove over to the base of this little hill next to it where I'll have a nice view of the entire area, I think. So first off, here's the little bay and the beach. This is where I was hanging out 10 minutes ago. Here's the Malecon area. And then here's a better look at what seems to be the real San Felipe. The one that doesn't cater quite as much to spring break tourists. Really cool mountain along the coast here. And again, the lighthouse, and let's head on up to the top of this little shrine. Okay, well, the shrine itself is very closed off, but I think we can get a peek in here. And then here's the lighthouse. What a beautiful area. The mix of the mountains and the beach. Really pretty. All right, let's go find some dinner, maybe some tacos or something along those lines. All right, well, the plan was to eat dinner at one of these kind of roadside shack restaurants. These places, get some tacos or tamales or something, but they're closed. So that's not gonna happen. It might still be a little bit early in the day, like it's only 3:15 right now. It's not really dinner time yet. So maybe these are only open like later at night. I'm not sure. Or maybe they're only open in the tourist season, like the higher tourist season. I think they're probably just not quite open yet. You know, it's weird eating dinner at this time of day, but I need to go find a campsite. It'll be dark in an hour and a half. And so I need to get some food here quick and then go find a campsite like half an hour outside of town. So kind of rushing it here. I think I'm gonna have to return to the touristy area along the waterfront and get some kind of food there for dinner. All right, I think we're gonna go with rice and beans. This place right on the water here. All right, I ordered the fajitas. Comes with rice and beans and what looks like an entire baked potato. Yep, and tortillas, of course, with a nice view of the water. Alright guys, there is my home for the night. There's camp. You can see the Sea of Cortez in the distance. There's no one else around. What a great spot. Just sand and dunes. I'm on top of some small dunes right now. And the sun is about to set in about 5 minutes. I'm very experienced when it comes to finding free dispersed camping in the western US. I am not experienced at all at finding free campsites in Mexico. For this trip, I turned to one of the free campsite apps. There are several of these, and I never use them for my normal travels because, again, I'm good at finding campsites. But for here, where I have no experience, I turned to an app called iOverlander. It's an app and website. And this exact spot wasn't marked on there, but the road to get to this general area was marked on there, and a campsite a little bit to the south was marked on here, so I followed the road that led to that area. Then I drove around a little bit until I found a place that I liked. And here's a closer look at the actual campsite. I'm gonna pop the drone up, gonna fly the drone for a little bit while there's still a little bit of daylight left. Dinner was good, by the way. It was about $10 with the fajitas and all that other food and a Coke. So not especially cheap, but again, it's like a super touristy restaurant right on the water. So about what I expected to pay. But let me show you my, my setup for the night. I'll give you a look in through the back. There's my sleeping area. Got all my gear in this cabinet here. Dirty clothes right there. Got reflectix in the windows. I think I'm good to go for the night. By the way, the road to get out here, the road that I took to get to this area, continues on to the actual beach itself. The road got a little bit rough and a little bit sandy, so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna stop here. I'm gonna play it safe. But if your vehicle is capable, you could actually go camp right on the beach itself at this spot. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, I think that'll do it for tonight. I'll see you in the morning. And good morning from the beach right next to camp here. I walked here in about 10 minutes from where I camped. Beautiful morning. It was a clear, chilly night last night. I'm camped. Let's see if I can see my car. Somewhere over here. It's 7:30 right now. The sun rose about an hour ago, 6:30. Usually I like to get up at about sunrise, but I'm in no great hurry this morning. Later on in the day I'll need to hurry things along a little bit, but that's okay. It's especially okay because today is my birthday. I slept really well. Like I said, it was a cool night last night. It got down to about 45 degrees, and so I was just snuggled up in the sleeping bag and had a great old time. Once I get back to the car and get out of here, the first thing I want to see today is only about 5 minutes down the road this way. It's not far at all. That's why I camped in this area, because I'm close to the first thing that I wanted to see and do today. So I think it's gonna be a pretty chill day. You know, I had just a ton of things listed today as things I could do, but I kind of want to just take it easy. I'm not gonna rush. I'm not gonna see and do everything that I originally had planned on the list, but you know what? It's not a big deal. That's fine. First off today, I am in the Valley of the Giants, Valle de los Gigantes, and it's home to these really big cactuses or cacti. Pick your poison. These are called Cardone cactuses, and they are the largest cactus species in the world. They're really big. These routinely get to be 50 feet tall or taller, and these can live to be 300 years old. And they're related to the saguaro, which you'll find in Arizona. But a saguaro is like, there's one trunk, and then there are branches going off kind of partway up the trunk. The Cardone is more like a cluster instead of one main trunk. What a wild plant. And there's plenty of other stuff to see if you're a desert flora enthusiast. This is one of my favorite desert plants. This is called ocotillo. I passed some down the road that were flowering. The ones in this immediate area don't seem to be. And then you've got your cholla. And check this out. So this looks like a Cardone cactus that has died. And you can see the ribs that make up the structure of the cactus up there, up higher. I've seen fallen and disintegrating saguaros, and they're the same kind of thing. They're made up of these woody ribs. Here's a closer look. Sounds kind of hollow, because it is hollow. I thought at first that these were baby Cardone cactuses, but I think they're a different species. And then I think this is what a baby Cardone looks like. This is where I parked, and then from here I just kind of took off on foot exploring this area. But if you have a four-wheel drive vehicle, you can continue on the road this way. The sign here says basically you need four-wheel drive to keep going. But if you don't, this is a good option. The RAV4 actually does have four-wheel drive, but it's not amazing four-wheel drive, and it's not an off-road vehicle, so I'm just gonna be satisfied with going and exploring on foot from here. I'm gonna hit the road again and turning back to the map here. So here's San Felipe. I camped south of here. That's about where I am right now. Gonna go back up north, cut across the peninsula on this road to Ensenada. Gonna do a few things in Ensenada and then gonna head back up north into the States from there. I'll be passing by Picacho del Diablo, if this will focus. There we go. That is the highest mountain on the Baja Peninsula, so that's kind of neat. Maybe I'll come back in the future and climb that guy. Anyway, it's going to be a few hours. It's going to take a few hours to do this drive. I'm not going to film most of it. I'll film a few clips of the drive, but mostly I just want to focus on the drive itself, focus on driving. So I'll see you guys in a few hours over there on the Pacific side of the Baja Peninsula. Okay guys, I've been wandering through the streets, driving through the streets of Ensenada. I made it across the peninsula. The view here is just incredible. I wanted to get a viewpoint of the area. I've got one. Let's go walk out to the point here. Yeah, what a view. This is incredible. I've never been to Ensenada before. It's a cruise port. There's a cruise ship out here. Beautiful. I think now I'm gonna go down to this area for some food. Okay, well there's a boardwalk area, there's a malecon area over there along the water, but the lady there wouldn't let me get over there because of my camera. She said I couldn't film over there. So, I think the plan is to go find some food somewhere over here, then I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, I'm at the fish market, the seafood market. I'm gonna try to get some tacos, maybe a fish taco or two, even though I don't like fish. I'll find something to eat here. All right, here we go. Got 2 fish tacos and 1 carne asada taco. I'm actually waiting on one more. So 4 tacos total, and a Coke and some salsa and We're good to go. Well, good morning. It is the next day. Let's walk through what happened after that last clip there. So the tacos were excellent, and I'm not really a fish person. I don't like to eat fish, but those fish tacos were actually really tasty, so that's a win. I'm happy about that. And then I just decided to stop filming because there wasn't anything interesting. I left Ensenada, drove about an hour and a half-ish back to the border at Tecate, and the crossing was super easy, took about 5 minutes. There were only a couple of cars in front of me. And then it took me about 2 hours to find a campsite last night. That was a bit of a struggle. I think it took me 4 tries to find a campsite. I kept trying to access public land, like BLM land or National Forest land, and there were gates on the roads leading to the public land, and like right before the public land. So that was a little bit annoying, and just took a while. And eventually I did find a place. It's not great, but let me show it to you. Here it is, just below this giant power line here. I found these to be pretty easy spots to find in the dark as far as campsites go. Find a big power line, big row of power lines, and there's gonna be an easy place to camp if you don't mind your brain being fried by, I'm sure, some kind of horrible thing coming from the power lines. And so that is the end of the Mexico trip. Had a really good time, had some good food, saw some great scenery, and it was fun to just be in a brand new situation, something that was a little bit uncomfortable for me. You know, it was more stressful than my normal trips because a lot of it was new, you know, finding a campsite and driving in a new country. And I've crossed several borders before, but I've never driven across a border. And, you know, the whole language barrier and being stopped at military checkpoints, you know, there's lots of things that, you know, no one of those things was like a big deal at all. And even altogether, they weren't that big of a deal, but altogether they did make for some, just a slightly more stressful trip than it otherwise would have been. But overall, really enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video too. Let me know if you have questions that you want me to answer in the next video, in the Mexico trip logistics video. Leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer those. Again, this video that you're watching, or that you've been watching, is going up on a Saturday. The following Tuesday will be the logistics video. And once that video is up, if you're watching this a little bit later, I'll put a link to that in the video description and as the top comment down below once that is available. Thanks for watching. Again, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part was, and I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.